Well, welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. It's time for Ask the Shaman. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mary. I don't have much of a voice today. I woke up and I tried to talk to Mary and not a lot came out. So we'll see what happens here. Good morning. Hi, Angela. How are you today? Welcome. Welcome to Ask the Shaman, the show that's focused on you and how we can help you along your journey. So feel free in the comments, anybody who's coming in now in the comments, say hi, drop in, and feel free to ask any questions you have about life. It could be about health. It could be about metaphysical science, shamanism, healing, neurological science, anything that you got going on. I like to field those questions. Even if it's a question, I always invite people, even if it's something you kind of know about and already know the answer to, but you think it would be a contribution to others for us to talk about, feel free to bring forward those topics. Yesterday was a pretty cool day. I'll talk a little bit about what's been going on. So yesterday was a pretty cool day. Had some big shifts happen yesterday. And then we ended up having a session over at Sacred Waters last night. And that was pretty nice. We were there, had a nice big group of people, just the right people. Some wonderful new people showed up. And we just had a really, really nice experience. The breath and sound experience. We got some new sound tools. We got a ocean drum. And we've been using these particular kinds of chimes too that are pretty fun. I've been doing a lot of work personally with personal clients using solfeggio tuning forks in my shamanic healing. And that's been really something, really, really fun. So I don't know if you guys have any experience with sound healing. And if you do, I'd like to hear about it. Let's talk about sound healing and anything you'd like to about that. So while I wait for anyone who has any questions or wants to share or interact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some breath work with you this morning. I feel like I need some oxygen, some good old-fashioned oxygen to fill up into the body. So I'm going to start off just with a simple breath, just with the in through the nose, out through the mouth style breathing. I'm going to start it off with a very long exhales, extending exhales. Good morning, Brianna. And this is just kind of a cleansing breath, slowing everything down. You're going to bring all of your awareness to your navel. And as you breathe in through your nose, you're going to fill up your belly. Fill up your belly. And you're going to sigh out with a slow exhale. Big breath. Long exhale. Big breath. Exhale. Big breath. Exhale. Big breath. Exhale. Do a nice sigh like that, a soft sigh. Letting any heavy energy go. Again. Big full breaths. Oxygenate the body. Belly, chest, head. Like a wave, belly, chest, head. Like a wave, belly, chest, head. Like a wave, belly, chest, head. Continue. Six more. Three more. Two more. The last one. Big breath in. Hold. Let all the oxygen and energy saturate you. And then release. Relax. Right away, you can feel a big shift in the energy. Amazing. It's amazing. Faith. Hi, Faith. Faith says, I did a playful healing in a crystal shop for my friend. And she said the next morning she rolled out of bed and her hip didn't hurt anymore. Fantastic. I love that. Very good. I had some great news come through one of my healings that's happened. I had a friend of mine a couple months ago. He's from out of town, and he was in town. And when he was in town, he came to one of our events, and he's had heart issues for a while. And I put my hands on him intuitively, and I asked Jesus to heal his heart. And I got news the other day that after that, he had some other things happen. And now at this point, he's went from 25% heart function, I think, to 55% heart function. And his doctor is astounded and has only seen one other case like that ever. So how cool is that? I love healing. Isn't it great? Let's see. Good morning, party people. Hi, Witchy Homestead. 1 million Buddhas. Good morning. Angela says, I'm struggling with the negativity of others. I am trying to see if it's a projection of my inner self or the cause for it is coming from. I'm currently at work, so if I miss your response while you're alive, I will definitely go back to listen to it. Okay. Well, I don't know if you're here, but here it is. So I'm struggling with the negativity of others. So right away, you want to look at that. You want to inspect what you're saying there. The negativity of others. Well, no one else's negativity can make you struggle. Okay. So if you're struggling with the negativity of others, you want to inspect what is your mindset. Other people may have heavy energy or may be negative, and that's okay. You don't have to give it your energy. If it is resounding within you, if being around with a negative person and you find yourself struggling, it's usually because there's a part of you inside that's resonating in the same frequency as their pain, as their trauma, as their unresolved data. And what that is really is that's it's a tool and a gift for you to be able to see where you're not free. That's what I always point to. If you're having some sort of reaction to something and you're safe, like, you want to react if there's a person that's physically dangerous to you in some sort of way. If there's someone who's just plain rude or mean to you, you can set a boundary with them. If they cross the boundary, you just kind of stay away from them. Typically, though, the negativity of others is the negativity in you. Just like I tell people, if you're perceiving evil in the world, it's because there's evil in you. If you're perceiving negativity in your world, it's because there's negativity in you. I don't like to even use the word. I like to try to stay away from it. I call it sort of heavy energy. People who are in that space, what's happening are heavy. Think about when you get negative. We all do. Negative. I don't like the word. It's not really negative. I'm heavy. There's heavy energy that's happening. So it's understanding that the person, they're going through their thing too. They're doing everything they can. What I like to do is with people that I feel are negative or my mind is judging them in that way, I like to become aware of that. And then I'll slow my breath down. And then instead, I try to see them from a perfected view, like see the golden Buddha in that person. And then what it is this begins to make me compassionate. And then I begin to understand that the negativity is never outside of me. So I would say it's just a beautiful tool for your ascension, for your continuance of your awakening. We're all awakening, and me too. And there's things that happen that will trigger us in some sort of way. And what I always say is triggers are our best friends. Triggers show us precisely where we're not free. If I'm triggered, it's because I don't have, there's something that I'm missing. There's something that a need, it's usually a need that's not being met. And that's something I'll ask myself. I feel triggered. Why am I like this? And what need is not being met? And I'm asking myself and my higher self that. So you can give those a whirl. Yeah. So that's just a touch. We could talk more about that. I would be open to talk more about that if you'd like. The witchy homestead. Just curious, is it normal to get rashes after a bit healing energy work? If the rash arise in the area where specific healing took place? Yeah, that can happen. A good energy healing is going to stir up. Excuse me, I'm yawning. There. Excuse me. So a good energy healing is going to stir up the water in the cells. Okay. That's really at the deepest level. What's happening when you work with the typical energy healing is the energetics that are being applied are helping to structure the water cells that are inside of the body or wherever the healing's taking place. Now, when this happens, this agitation of the water can bring forward toxins, things that are trapped and causing some of your symptoms potentially. So it's kind of normal. Your skin is the outermost and largest organ of your body. So I wouldn't say that's something to really worry about. I think what it is it's coming on its way out. And then also, I would always recommend using your breath, using breath, because some of that needs to be transmuted. Some of that needs to be moved through the breath. So usually when the rash arises, that comes down to an integration thing. Taking time to integrate, reflect on what happened in the healing, what you felt in the healing, and moving into integration, making it one with you, using your mindset to blend the energy, using your breath to blend the energy, and then using, maybe what you've learned in the healing into your life. What did it help you change? Because that's what it's all about. We go to healing because we're ready to change. And whatever it helped us change or lead us into change, we want to make sure we apply that in our reality. Awesome work, Faith and Tony. Thank you, Mark. How are you, brother? Can you talk about why people are concerned with hyperventilation during power breathing and what it actually does? Well, I don't know anyone that is concerned. If you're concerned, then that's kind of a personal thing. For most people, it's ego. It's fear of losing control is usually what it is, where it comes down to it. Most people that I work with have no issue at all with super ventilating. So I would stay away from the term hyperventilation, because that kind of suggests that you don't have control. I'm hyperventilating. Well, if you're super ventilating, same idea. But what it does is words are spells, and how you say things to yourself changes things. I'm super ventilating as I'm willfully hyperventilating, you know. And then so you're asking me during power breathing and what it actually does. Well, at the very deepest level, it's moving fluid and energy. So breath is air, our breath is light as well. Air is light. So when you breathe in, you're taking in spirit or taking in light. Okay, just like so, Faith, you're a Paqo, just like in our tradition we use Pakui to send energy. Yeah, yari, sending the energy. So air has a really powerful thing of doing that. Also, it's the movement of blood, lymph, cerebral spinal fluid up the spine and into the head. And this leads into what Hindus and Buddhists call Kundalini awakening. Okay. In our tradition, it's just kind of different. We don't use chakras and things. So for me, it's more of an awakening of, I just call it a vertical column of energy. We have a vertical column of energy in our body from our tailbone to our scalp. And this is our primary antenna to communicate with spirit. So the power breathing is especially you're using the physiology. There's several different types of breathing, of course. The first form of breathing that most people need to use is relaxed breathing. Okay. And relaxing breathing is when you have an elongated exhale. Okay. So it'd be like breathing in. I like to breathe in through the nose and the sighing exhale. And then you can add to it. You can use your voice. Use your voice. You can do different tones and sounds. I recommend doing that, using that. For relaxation, you're doing the relaxed breath. Then there's something in the middle that's called balance breathing. So sometimes you can use a box breathing, a 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, that kind of still in a relax mode kind of thing. But I like to do a balance where it's about 4 or 5 in, 4 or 5 out, or 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out. And what'll this do is this will balance you. This will bring balance into your body, into your energy. And then third is a power. So that's more like powerful breathing. And what that is you're just clearing your energy. You're bringing in new light. You're actually turning on your nervous system. You're actually initiating when you start to breathe faster. That starts to really attenuate the nervous system, and you're switching into actual parasympathetic mode, but it's in a good way. It's not in your overthinking kind of way. You're actually, with your awareness, using your intention to turn on your nervous system. And that's part of the breath work skill that's developed, is breathing in several different styles during your session. So you're using your nervous system in a range, and you're connecting your psychology, your neurology, all together with your breathing. And breath is the captain of the mind. So what I always point out to is, if there's a concern, so fix that. So what is concern? Concern is fear. People are like, oh, I'm not afraid, I'm concerned. Go deeper. What does that mean? At the deepest level, it's fear. I'm afraid of hyperventilation. So I just want to find out why am I afraid to oxygenate my body? And usually what you'll find out is, I'm afraid of, I'm going to lose control, which you won't. You're just going to breathe and have a good time. And then also it may be that there's unresolved emotional data ready to be moved. And sometimes that's scary, and it's okay that it's scary. You just keep practicing until you can go into it. Okay. There's nothing wrong. That's what I like to always tell myself and everyone else. There's really nothing to worry about. Just kind of go with the flow. I hope that answered your question, Faith. Thank you. Thank you so much. I did some oracle reading using my channel, and my channel was so much for me after 2 reading. So good. Awesome. I love to see everyone growing. Thank you. Makes perfect sense. Thank you, dear. Thanks so much. I have been initiated and self-taught every single time I work with angels and clearing chakras and shadow work. All the healing every time I do it deep, I get a rash in the spot. So we can talk about that if you want. Where is the rash? Tell me about the rash. Say some more about it. Where is it? What does it feel like? Because as soon as you're talking about it, I'm getting kind of intuitive ring to it. Like it's telling me that there's information in there I can help you to extract. If you'd like. If you'd like to talk about it, feel free. I'd love to. Morning all. Hi, Lulu. Yeah. I've been looking at different shaman options on trickster energy as well. Is it possible to have a trickster helping spirit, or as a shaman yourself become the trickster in a group session? What is trickster? What does that mean to you? So I'm not sure what you're asking. Opinions on trickster energy as well. I have trickster energy helping spirit. I mean, I definitely have some spirits that love to play. That's the word that I use is, good humor, play, and fun. Or sometimes they kind of like to play little tricks on you. So, mess with you a little bit. Not in a bad way, just having fun. Spirits love to play. They respond so much better to us when we're in emotive play. And that's kind of how I explain doing shamanic work and also creating relationships with spirits around you is to move yourself into the mode of play. And what we call that in our tradition is, it's a cool word. It's called puklei. Puklei. And puklei means sacred play. And this is it's that playful mode there, really where you want to be when you're working with spirit. Like I think how Faith, I felt it in her a comment up higher where she's saying, I had a playful healing with someone. Yeah, that's really good. That's a great energy to have. Faith says, what do you think is the difference between relaxing through elongated breathing versus a two sniff physiological sigh? What do you think is the difference between relaxing through elongated breathing? Not much, a little bit. What I would say is that there's good science to the physiological sigh. I like both of them. So I like, my favorite relax type of breath is smell the flower, cool the soup. I like to take my mind's eye, my mind's flower, and I begin to smell that beautiful flower. I picture a beautiful flower. And I fill up in long exhales. Purse lips, cool the soup. And then there's the physiological side. Two sniffs, belly, chest. Okay, so they both work very well for engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. I would say play with them both. The difference, what do I feel is the difference? For me, when I do the smell the flower, cool the soup, it feels more relaxed in my tummy and in my chest. And then when I'm doing the physiological sigh, it feels like it's giving me more relaxation from the head down. So it's just kind of a different kind of feeling. Most of the time, I bring all of my awareness into the middle of my body. As you're aware, Faith, as priests, we're trained to use the Koshko, our navel, as our primary awareness of our energy. So this is typically where I like to bring my awareness of relaxation first, is into the middle. I feel when I go, I can feel that kind of, it starts at my head. I feel like it's in my head and it all kind of drains down. Both of them are great. I would say that to my awareness, there is just more science for the physiological side. Good morning. I want to know what the difference is between bypassing and choosing not to focus on problems, the negative. When you're escaping and you keep recycling the problem, If you're recycling the problem, that means you're bypassing. It's just like when people come to me for healing, they'll have an issue healing. And then what I'll ask them is, do you want relief or do you want healing? And for most people, that's a question they've never really pondered. Do I want relief or do I want healing? Yeah, it's okay to choose not, because see, then you're saying I choose not to focus on problems. You just called it a problem. So if it's a problem and you're not focusing on it, what is that? That's bypassing. So I think you answered your own question just in your language. You know, I'm all about transformation of heavy energy. So if you have a problem and you're trying not to focus on it, you know, that's bypassing. Now, that doesn't mean anything's wrong. Sometimes that has to be. Sometimes you don't have the awareness or developed consciousness to handle that current problem. So you may have to bypass. You know, what happens is it'll recycle. So if the problem isn't changing or going away, that means it's trying to teach you to change. That's what a problem always does. The problem's a challenge. The challenge is helping you to learn how to change you. So I would inspect that. What's going on? What's connected around this problem that's being chosen? That's it. That's how you know if it's a recycling pattern. If it's a recycling pattern and you keep pushing it down, you're bypassing. And again, bypassing, I'm not that guy that comes on here and is like, spiritual bypassing. I'm not going to point my finger at you and say you're bad or anything like that, because you're not. We just have to do that sometimes when we don't know. But your question is perfect. And what that does is that leads you right to where you need to be. So very good, Angela. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Witchy Homestead. It is similar to shingles. Kind of smelly, as unfun as that sounds. Itchy, not festering. For the trickster, a hooded figure that literally plays tricks on other people in my group sessions. Well, this is a part of you, you know, what you're seeing there. You know, our spirit guidance is also an extension of ourself. And often in our in that awareness, we'll come to find out that these are parts of us. So, you know, I have had some spirits that like to have puklei. You also, though, with any spirits that are around, you have the ability to create a boundary. Spirits are very, very sensitive to us. They want, you know, especially ones that are friendly to us. If this spirit doesn't respect your boundaries, if you don't want these tricks to be played, or you want them to be lessened, or if you want any change with what the spirits are doing, you have all the right to lay down what you want, the law or your rules per se. And if they don't follow those, you can always ask the spirit to go, because no spirit comes in or out without your permission. So don't ever let them fool you and make you think like you don't have any control. You have lots of control from this dimension. You know, they can't override your wishes when they're in that space. This is something most people don't know. You have full control over the energy that moves in and out of your space. This includes spirit. So I've had some trickster types spirits, you know, and I've never had any that weren't able to harmonize with me. And that was the words I would use with them. I'd be like, okay, this energy, it's off balance and it's creating an imbalance. How do we balance this energy? And then what that usually comes down to is improving the relationship with the spirit. And then what I use, again, it's just this amazing tool is your breathing, using your breath. I've asked spirits to sit and breathe with me so we can tune to each other. And then we become tuned. And then we start to work together. So there's a few different things you can do there. I feel that this spirit and I meld very well, and it's very much needed for my awareness. I just don't want to be the one weirdo showing up with the trickster in the room. Like I said, you have control over what that trickster's doing because it's you. It's like a finger. It's like your hands. It's that, like, you know, one finger likes to have fun. You know, you have control over kind of what's happening. Oh, or you can gain even more so control, you can ask the trickster to help you in a beautiful way. Help me ask your trickster spirit to be of contribution to the healing. It's okay to play, but right now, let us be part of the healing, you know, or how can we playfully add this energy in? It's okay. And it's also okay to be the one weirdo. I like to be the one weirdo. Thank you. That helps. Sometimes I get surprised when I thought something has been healed, but it comes back. I always look at bypassing as something that is done consciously, like avoiding. Yeah, well, it usually is. It's usually a choice. It's because it's too difficult. What you're saying about I get surprised when I thought something has been healed, but it comes back. Well, that's just because every time that you go through the cycle, you take another piece of it apart. And sometimes it feels like, oh, that's the end. I've healed it. I'll tell most people whatever the healing, the most profound healings in your life are going to happen in layers. They're going to come apart. Like you're going to have an inner child healing of some sort, and you're going to feel great. And your mind will think, oh, I've healed my inner child. And then some time will pass, maybe a month or two, a few months, and then something else connected to an inner child wound arises. The ego gets frustrated, says, I already did this, and tries to ignore it. Nah, I already healed that, kind of thing. That's just typical. It's a typical mistake. The greatest thing I like to say is healing is a circle or a spiral. You're going to revisit things, so especially as you're continued to, all of us are ascending. As you're ascending, your energetic awareness and strength comes more online, your sensitivity. So this means you're going to have more sensitivity to be able to go into the imprints, go into the traumas, go into the pain, and find more medicine within it. Because the problem is healing is extracting. I like to think of it more as alchemy. You're going to take your pain and turn it into love. And that's one of my favorite questions. What if I could take all my pain and turn it into love? What if? Just ask the question, because if you say, I'm going to take my pain and turn it into love, they will be like, no, you're not. You can't do that. That's impossible, kind of thing. You're just going to be like, what if? What if? I love to ask. And you're not asking anyone, and you're putting this into the world. What if I could turn all my pain into love? Great question. I love that. I mean, if anyone judges me for it, it's a reflection of them. So I guess that's something I need to work on. Yeah, the relationship. Yeah, it's always a relationship with our spirits, Uh, it evolves, like your spirit guidance and you have the trickster spirit. This is obviously, if it's something that's close to you and working with you when you're doing healings, and they're doing her healings, this is a form of your guidance and a form of your medicine that's showing up there. And especially with our primary guidance, they always evolve. So they change. It might be a trickster today, might turn into something later. It's because they evolve as you evolve. The way that you're perceiving your spiritual energy has everything to do with the frequency of consciousness at which you're at now. And, for all of us, it's going to rise. Our frequency of consciousness is going to rise. And within that, our connection to our spirit is also going to change. The moon, I've noticed, assists me through these cycles you speak of. She's very, very powerful at helping assist us in cycles. Not just the moon, but all nature spirits and all like cosmic uh, energies. You can use all forms of spirit of nature. And when I say nature, I don't necessarily mean trees, which I love trees. I also mean the nature of all things. Nature is all around you. You'd be amazed the things that can bring healing to you if you give them the proper attention, the proper energy. So play, have fun. Puklei. Oh man, is that ever the truth? Layers on layers, the healing process. Yeah. But it's accepting the layers. And, it's important to understand that there's nowhere you need to get to. Okay. So, just think of it this way. Like, I already know that about you, Miss Angela, is I know you're a wonderful awakening spirit. I can feel the light and healing that comes through you. That was, I think, the first thing that brought me into your world. People that vibrate in certain frequencies attract me to them. And sometimes it's to trigger them, like was kind of the case in the beginning of our awareness of each other. Um, that's on purpose. Like I don't purposefully go around and try to trigger people. That just kind of shows up in the medicine. I kind of do what the person's spirit asks for. And sometimes this person's spirits asks for that. They ask for that kind of thing. And then what that does is that begins a change, like a snowball effect or a domino effect. And that's, traditionally in shamanism, what we call seed planting. And I know you're out there planting seeds. I watch you. I see what's happening. You're doing a good job, by the way. And I'm really so very proud for you. But yeah, absolutely. And then Angela O'Connor says, I'm glad I asked. This helps me realize nothing is wrong. Right. It's okay for healing to happen in layers. My awareness grows and evolves in Nike. Yeah, totally. Nothing's wrong. Okay. That's the first thing. Unless you're in physical harm. Okay. Like if there's physical harm happening, you want to get out of there really quick. You want to get away. So if you're like in a physically abusive relationship, get out of there, get away from those things. And if you're hurting yourself, get away from those things. That's what you want to step away from. And then just stepping into understanding everything's okay. And that's what we're here for. We're here to recycle those things because it's through the recycling process we gain knowledge. And as we gain the knowledge, we can use that knowledge and then we can apply it into our reality. And that's why we gain our experience. And it's through the knowledge that comes through our spiritual guidance, the knowledge that comes in, and the application of that knowledge, the experience, we gain wisdom. Wisdom. And that's the name of the game, is bringing yourself into your fullest connection to your wisdom. Your divine internal intelligence is something else I love to call it. So, yeah, nothing's wrong. You just want to go with the flow, and it's okay. And it's okay if you get frustrated too. That's the other thing. It's okay if you get frustrated. If you react, if you fall into an old pattern and you become aware of it, guess what? That's a win because you became aware of the pattern. That's why I always point out. The thing is once you have a certain level of consciousness, there's no coming back. There's no going backwards, only forwards. It may feel sometimes like you're going backwards, but that's okay. That's not really what's happening. It's just the next layer, the next wave, everything. Think of everything as a wave. And what we're doing is we're learning how to surf. We're getting good at surfing those waves. And how is that happening? Through the evolution primarily of our nervous system. Okay. That's why I teach the things I teach. I teach things like breath work. At the base, that's the breath work. I teach things like grounding, getting outside, getting your feet in the grass, getting the sun on your skin, regardless of the temperature, regardless of the weather. So I teach things like cold water immersion. Wow, boy, that does a number on changing the nervous system characteristics of the human. Geesh. I do things like positive self-talk, affirmation, mantra, vocal toning, balance training. That's as simple as stand on one foot and raising the other off the ground. Do that today. Try it if you want to. So if you can stand right now, do that now. Stand on one foot. Get your arms out. Patrick Starfish, putting the arms out. And you're just stand on one foot. And then you might challenge your balance, like swinging your leg around, swinging the leg around. Very powerful. And what is that doing? You're training from your foot all the way up to your brain. Okay, because the foot is trying to stabilize. All the muscles up the body are trying to stabilize you. So what is that doing? It's creating a neural connectivity. There's messages going down and up. Thousands and thousands are happening together. But it only gets challenged if you challenge it. So challenging your balance is a beautiful tool. There's so many tools that are available to us. Brianna says, after the class we did Tuesday, I felt so much energy. When you do the work, when can you feel tired when you wake up? When you do the work, you can feel tired when you wake up. Yeah, you sure can. You're doing a lot of energy work. It's normal sometimes to feel a little bit burned out because you are actually exercising the nervous system, like stretching it. It's like working out. You're doing a workout. So it's like kind of the next day, instead of your nervous system being sore, you may feel a little fatigued. And then, so what I recommend is stretching. Stretching is really powerful. Yoga is really powerful. And of course, your breath. The breath helps us integrate the nervous system like no other tool. And couple that with your intention and your energetic awareness. And now you can take in energy, push it out into the tissues, push it out into the nervous system. I love to use that kind of hum, like I'm it's not just coming through my mouth, it's coming through my nose. It's like a nasal kind of hum. And you can feel all the vibration in your nose and in your cheeks. And what that does is this vibrates and resonates into the brain. And this helps to create neurological coherence within the brain. Yes, it has. I'm very grateful and thankful for you. I am thankful and grateful for you. You're fantastic. I absolutely, honestly, I love people and I love people's energy. Each person has this beautiful kind of thing about them. And I enjoy it. There's something about you. I can tell you have a really good gift, this really great gift. And I'm excited to be here on the journey with you and help you grow that. I have faith. You used to trigger the shit out of me too. Truth can be scary. Yeah. Everybody has a different kind of medicine gift. Okay. One of my gifts is to see. So, in our tradition, I'm initiated Kawak, and Kawak means seer or visionary. So I can see the best parts of you is what I can see. And then I can also see the energy of where you're lying to yourself. And usually what happens is I expose where your lie is. And, I've been doing this to myself. That's why it works. It works well because I do this to myself. And it's just being really upfront about what's going on. Like I don't yell at people or tell them they're bad or anything like that. I'm just going to say something that's going to bring forth the energy that you're lying to yourself about or you're hiding from yourself. And it happens all the time, where people get a little upset. They may get mad. And the thing is that's what healing is. Healing is the trigger. A trigger is healing. So it can be triggered through love and joy. Most of my healings go that way. Most of my healings are loving, joyful kinds of things. But there are the ones where, how else are you going to get to where you need to get to if I don't say what needs to be said? Right. And so for most people, the vast majority of people I'm around or work with, if I do happen to trigger them, it's usually just like how you're saying right here. You used to trigger the shit out of me. Like I don't anymore, because even if I say something that brings a trigger to you, you're aware now right away of what I'm doing. I'm just helping you. I'm giving you the greatest help I can. Right. So you're really aware of that now. But it's the trigger is the most powerful tool. Like every time I'm triggered, I'm triggered, things trigger me. A response, and it's more or less a reaction. And then what that does, that gives me an ability to look at that trigger. Like, why am I reacting? And then through that, I learn how to create space between stimulus and response. So then that way I'm not triggered anymore. But yeah, definitely the truth can be scary. But guess what? On the other side of that fear is freedom. The truth shall set you free. Well, at this time, I don't know where to start with my healing. What layer am I even on? I used to know, but now I don't know. What I would tell you first is it's okay not to know. Because it's our conditioned mind, our ego self, that is what needs to know. It's looking for control. I need to know. It changes all the time. Okay. So there's many, many layers. You'll revisit some of them. When you're saying that, like, I don't know, that means you're sitting there trying to figure it out. Or what I'm picking up is you're trying to get somewhere. Like you're trying to get somewhere. It's like almost like your mind is telling you, if I get here, if I heal to here, everything will be better than it is now. That's not necessarily true. Healing is often romanticized and glamorized as this kind of beautiful flowing thing of just love and light. And it isn't. It is that sometimes, but the most profound parts of healing are deeply painful. And it's within that pain, the transmutation of pain, is where true love begins to rise. So I wouldn't try to know, Regina. I would just go into my practice. Your practice is A1, connecting to your breath, connecting to your vertical column of light, connecting to the heavens, connecting to the earth, letting flow of light move through you as you breathe, in practices. My favorite practice right now that I've been teaching and using for myself is my ABS method, ABS, awareness, breath, self-talk, right? So you go into what's going on, what's causing you an issue. So say you're saying, what layer am I even on? I used to know, but I don't know. I used to know, but now I don't know. So you have this need to know. And what is that causing? Is that causing fear? Is that causing a reaction of some sort? I don't know. When a person's usually saying they don't know, it's usually out of fear. I don't know. It's the fear of the unknown is where it's coming from. So then you can have the awareness that, like, hey, I have some sort of fear happening here. There's your awareness. Next is your breath. You're going to bring your awareness to your breath. Long exhales. You're going to move yourself into big breaths with long exhales. Long exhales. Breath awareness. That's A1 for everybody. It's not always about doing like breath work. Well, like practices are fantastic for growing the neurology that you're going to use when it's time to use. You just become aware of your breath, right? Because when you become aware of your breath, you're moving out of the space of incessant thought. You're moving into the awareness of your breath and you're slowing it down. So then you're also moving out of fear. You're moving out of sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system, where you can rest and digest and you can learn and open up into your own learning. So then it's across all three things. You're looking at your awareness and your thinking. You're giving the attention to, you're looking for, what is it that I'm saying to myself? What are the disempowering words I'm saying to myself? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You said that several times in one sentence. I don't know. I don't know. So what you're doing is you're slowing your breath down and you're saying, it's okay that I don't know. I don't need to know. I'm safe already. My healing moves at the rate at which it needs to, and everything's okay. This is where you start with your healing, letting go. That starts to resolve itself. And then you start to look at your reality in your life. Where am I struggling? What's hard for me? And then you look at those things, and then again, you're paying attention to, what am I saying to myself and what am I agreeing to? What is my internal speech? We're all talking to ourselves all the time. That's how we convince ourselves of the disempowerment. But we can take that and use that as the template to create the positive self-talk. So say for some people, I'm worried about money. What you want to do is, I choose not to worry about money. The mind be saying, I need abundance. I am abundance. Money comes to me with ease. There's so many beautiful things you can say. That's usually the problem for people, is not knowing what the good words are to say. The easiest way for you to find that out is through practice and looking at what you're saying to yourself, inspecting your current self-talk, what do I believe and why do I do what I do? And then just looking at that and flipping that, starting to put new words into it. New words, new energy. Now, that doesn't mean that this all the way falls off as soon as you start doing that. It's a training process. and also a process of healing. Because as you begin to shift, you're going to see, as you're installing new language, where you're resisting it, right? So if you're telling yourself, I tell you to breathe in and relax and say, I love you. And saying that to yourself, I love you. If you feel some sort of resistance, that's where you want to go. This is healing. Going into your resistance, whatever you're resisting, that's what you want to go into. What I tell people is usually whatever you're most afraid of, that's what you want to go into, because that is where the medicine is. Beautiful tools there for you to use, Regina. I just got tickets for the polar plunge near me. I almost didn't want to, but I would regret if I didn't. What a wonderful way to celebrate a new year. Yeah, fantastic. We did one last week. Saturday. We did one on Saturday. It's hard for me to tell what day it is this week. We did one on Saturday. That was really good. We went into the lake. It was about 40-ish degrees water temp. Not super cold outside, but cold enough. About 40 degrees outside as well. We had a nice group. We went out and did about 2 minutes. Got nice and cold, and it was great. Yeah, cold plunges are great, especially in groups. Everybody kind of does them different. Typically polar plunge is when just people charge out, run out into the water, maybe dip and run back out, kind of thing. We do a little bit different. We do it in more ceremonial kind of way. I open sacred space. I have everybody come into a circle, and we do a little prayer, kind of an energy opening. Then we breathe for a few minutes and do some movement. We'll do a little bit of shaking. That's a really, really powerful thing. We do it when we get out as well. And then we go in, we do our 2 minutes. I usually pray in Quechua while I'm out in the water. It just kind of starts to happen naturally. I start to pray, and it's a beautiful thing. I love cold exposure, especially in groups. Hi, brother. I'm having heavy energy problems. Okay, Benjamin, I can help you with those. Tell me more about what's going on. I can't believe it's 2 years since I started working with you. That first year was tough. And it feels like this year I did a lot of healing and becoming aware of the patterns. Now I am changing them. So good. You're doing great. I mean, you've come miles and miles so far since our first interactions. Everyone around has. Everyone that's around me and everyone that's stuck through and been here with me, all of us have grown in vast capacities. You guys are my soul family, and you're very, very important to me, and I love you all. The Witchy Homestead. Do you think fibromyalgia can be connected to trauma, therefore possibly healed through continual self-work and self-healing? Absolutely. So what I would tell you is symptoms are messengers. Fibromyalgia is just a word for symptoms. So it doesn't actually exist. But that's what the medical field calls a certain form of symptoms that are actually nervous system malfunctions. The nervous system malfunctions due to energy blockage. Symptoms are messengers showing you where you need to make internal change. So I've had hundreds of clients with diagnosed fibro I've worked with, and I would say more than 90% of them have fully recovered. Some of them say they want to recover or say they want to heal, but are unwilling to let go of what it is that's making them sick. Also, sometimes you'll find with particularly fibro, a lot of people get identified with the diagnosis. So the thing is the first thing I usually ask people with fibro or any diagnosis, but particularly fibro, I ask them, who are you without fibromyalgia? And I ask them not to answer the question right away. Don't answer. I want you to feel the question. Who are you without fibro? Who are you without fibromyalgia? You can ask anyone, who are you without a heart condition? Who are you without cancer? And so this takes the mind away from the identity, the ego's identity in which it's built around the diagnosis. Very often, people have no idea this has happened. They don't know. Typically, what I've noticed with people with fibro is it's usually a soul fracture. Most of the healings I've done with fibro have involved a soul retrieval. So that's a form of trauma healing. So how do you heal trauma is the big thing. Can be connected to trauma, therefore possibly healed through continual self-work and self-healing. So your self-work and self-healing are nervous system upgrade is what they are. You're changing the vibration of your nervous system. That's what healing is. People want to know what is healing. Okay, I'm going to tell you at a very base level is improving the flow of energy in your nervous system. Where there's lack of flow of energy in the nervous system, you will have symptoms. And those will show up like you're having a symptom of your rash. It's just showing you where you're not having flow in your nervous system. And that you can start to bring your awareness to, and bringing your awareness to the energy in that space and moving through your breath. Breath, most powerful healing tool there is. There isn't one better. And you can use it for anything. You have pain in your body, breathe into it. Breathe into it. Breathe into it. Breathe. Your breath, it's the energy of life. It's the primary source code comes into you through your breath. And nobody understands that. It's because you can't see it. It's not tangible. So the ego mind discounts it. It can't be. Your breath can't be that powerful. Want that? It has everything. It's how you're alive right now. Stop breathing for a while. Then it's over. I can't. It'll just end. Yes, about fibro. Hi, Jilly. And diet. Yeah, absolutely. Like diet and nutrition is super important. Like that's a given, you know. Difficult as well because, you know, the current society in which we live, especially here in the Western world, most of our food's completely poison. It's complete shit. So the importance of improving your nervous system and your connection to spirit becomes even more essential because you do have the ability to structure the molecular structure of your food or the water molecules of your food and water. And that's something I tell everyone to do. Sing to your food, speak to your food, speak to your water, sing to your water. Give it your energy. Put your hands, you have a cup of water, you put your hands around it and you bless that water. I like to sing to it. Sometimes I'll just say love. Love. I'm putting love into the water. You're structuring it. That's vibration, cymatics. The vibration of your intention in your voice vibrates in the water molecules and they take on that energy. Water has an amazing memory for energy. What you're giving to it, it can memorize, it can remember. Love. Give that to your food too. And I understand if you're in public, you don't want to be singing love out loud. Probably. I do. I don't give a shit. They'd laugh at me or whatever. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. But you can just like put your hands around your food, or just if you don't want to do that, if you're self-conscious of that, just looking at your food and giving it your intention, your loving intention, right? You're structuring the food. And this is very, very important for everything you eat or drink. So grateful for you. I have Shy Brianna too. Now a very powerful person now. Thank you for helping me grow in my journey. I am so proud of you, Brianna, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm so, so glad. Yeah. What Anthony just said, awareness is the start. Yes, awareness. First step, awareness, breath, self-talk. Saying I need is like saying I don't have, right? Saying I am is saying I have, and you must add the emotion to that. Yes. Charging, so that's manifestation, right? Is first the words, is saying I am or I have, or, you know, saying I, like for me, something I work on a lot because I've grown up with a lack mindset. So I block myself often from abundance. So what I do is I use my intention to first saying I am abundant, and I'm having gratitude for everything that's already around me and with me. Oh, thank you for everything. That's super important. Gratitude. Gratitude as often as you can. If you can find yourself being grateful for your life, that's going to lead you into the deepest form of love you've ever imagined. Beyond any word of love, any idea of love you had before will be totally shattered as you move into the deepest form of gratitude for everything around you. And then matching the frequency, picturing, so say, like in my case, abundance. Maybe in your case, it's health. What does the most healthy version of you look like? Or what does the most abundant version of you look like? Now you're visualizing. And then you want to go into it. You want to make it detailed as possible. Making the vision detailed as possible, because this creates a frequency within you, an emotion. And then let yourself be connected through that gratitude, through that joy, to your vision. And as that's happening, you're sending that out into the world. What happens is as you tune the frequency properly, whatever frequency you're sending out, that is what comes back to you. So I love to send out, I want you to be abundant. I want everyone to be abundant. So I send out that. I want health too. Everyone should be healthy. I feel like your health is your deepest abundance. And I think that's why I put those two things together. I feel like health is abundance, the deepest level of abundance. Beyond money is health, because you can have all the money you want, and if your health is poor, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But if you're healthy, you have every ability to be able to generate abundance for yourself, right? So the whole thing is I love to aim into those things, abundance and abundance of health, and feel myself as my healthiest version. And this is also what's helped me heal and come back from terminal disease. This is exactly what it took for me to change, to be able to bring in new information to my cells so that way I could heal from all of the illness I had. And I had lots and lots. Not anymore, though. There's now. Are you still doing the carnivore diet? What made you decide to do that? How's it going? No, not so much right now. The holidays popped up, but I'm probably going to go back. So I haven't really been on it, but the time that I have been on it, I noticed a lot of energy. I was really strong in the gym. My muscle tone started to improve quite quickly, get in better shape pretty fast. Mental clarity came up. And what made you decide to do that? Well, first it was spirit. My spiritual guidance said it was time for me to change something about the profile of what I'm eating. And then so I don't ask questions or try to figure it out. I wait till the signs show up in my reality. And it was as that was happening, I started to keep having these awarenesses for the carnivore diet. So I started learning about it from others who are doing it. Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. So I started learning more about the carnivore diet. And then, I had a lot of resistance to it because I've been a vegan, or mostly vegan, for about 8 years, 8 years up until this year, up until I did the carnivore diet a few months ago. So I've been vegan the whole time. So, when you're mostly vegan, it's hard to go into eating animals again. Okay. And part of the reason I didn't eat animals before is because of how it affected me energetically. Well, that's just not how it is anymore. The certain nutritional profile of the meat, I was needing it at that time for growth and repair of my cells. So that's why I was doing it. So I will return to it. I don't think it's something, I don't stay in any form of eating extended, like very long. I like to move around my nutrition because that stops you from having deficiencies. As far as I know, I have no current nutritional deficiencies. So, I like to keep it that way. I think that comes through having a variety of different eating patterns. Now, I do still enjoy my intermittent fasting. I still like to fast. I haven't been quite on the same schedule as that either. But typically, I like to go 18-6. I like to eat within a 6-hour window. Great question, by the way. Been having energy problems all my life, like no energy, big trauma in my root chakras. Okay. So, you're kind of aware of where the blockage is. And what you can do is you can begin to use your intention to begin to ground it. Okay. That's what I'm sensing about you is you're ungrounded. You have lots of energy coming in through the top, no energy going through the bottom. So maybe that's what we'll do right now, Benjamin. Right now, I'll with you and we all can do this together. Let's do a grounding exercise. There's many, many people that are into light and into love and light. Very few people. They're reaching into the heavens and they want to ascend, 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 but they never mastered grounding. And grounding is just as important as rising. You have to do both in every day. Otherwise, one becomes more developed than the other and you create energy imbalances. And that's okay. We begin to balance them by you doing grounding exercises. So when I ground, going outside and physically ground, going outside and physically grounding your feet into the earth is one way to ground. Another way is to use your intention. So as I sit here, what I like to do is I open my hands and I rest those down here and I begin to breathe nice and slow. And I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, full breathing. Long sighing exhale. And full breathing. Couple more. And just relax. You've oxygenated the body a bit. And what we do is we bring our awareness down to the navel and the tailbone and your legs. And what I do is I create in my mind the idea that as if everything from below my navel becomes like trees' roots. I'm beginning to root. My legs turn into roots. All the energy of my lower body begins to root into the planet. And as I'm rooting into the planet, I'm calling out to Pachamama, or the earth goddess, the earth mother, Mother Earth, Mama Aipa. Pachamamita, Pachamamita Kuna, Ampui. Bring your healing here. And I'm asking for the earth to bring its healing to us. As you're connecting with that ground, you're connecting with your root system. Mother Earth comes up through your roots and she begins to feed you a loving energy. She's first giving you some of her love. She's letting you know she's here. And what you want to do is be open and ready to receive that. I receive your love, Pachamama. And now what you're going to do is begin to offer her any stagnant or heavy energy. So you're allowing yourself, it's just like a gravity begins to pull through your tailbone and through your navel. And you can feel this soft pull. And what it's doing is it's beginning to pull your heavy energy, your hucha, the data that's unprocessed, the data that you no longer need. She's beginning to kind of pull that from you, stuff you no longer need. And you're lovingly giving it away. And as you're giving it away, you're allowing the light that's coming in through the top of your head naturally. This is your column that's always there informing you from the heavens. Letting it move down through you and bringing it down and letting it wash through you like a river, like a soft flowing white river. Moving energy through you and breaking up anything that feels heavy, stuck, or stagnant in your head, in your neck, in your throat, in your shoulders, in your arms and hands, your chest, your back, your tummy, your lower back, your hips, your pelvis, your reproductive space, your tailbone, your legs, all the way down to your feet. And you're giving this flow of energy to the earth. And as you're giving away your heavy energy, it's important for you to focus on the intention of gratitude and thanking her. You're giving her this is a beautiful gift. It's not like you're just giving it away because it's bad and you don't want it. You're giving it to her because you know it's a beautiful treat for her. So you're lovingly giving away your heavy energy to the earth. And what I like to do then is I like to breathe. I like to take in air and energy in through the top. And I push it out through the bottom. And energy goes into the earth. It recirculates. It filters through the soil and rock of the earth. And it comes back up and around. Torrid field. And you're breathing in. Bringing in the light, bringing in your energy, the vertical column, sending it down. Yawning is good. If you yawn, it means you've just cleared something and you've also attenuated your nervous system. I like to do this about 20 times. Blowing that energy down. The stuff, I'm sending energy through my tailbone. Down the chute, into the heart, and I'm choosing to hold it in my heart, charging it, and sending it down through the tailbone. And again, in through the heart, and out through the tailbone. And again, and you can do this for a long period of time if you like, until you feel cleansed. Then what you're doing is you're thanking the earth. I thank you, Pachamama. Thank you, Mama Gaia, for your beautiful connection. And then you're going to thank your higher power, whatever to you is God or creator, creatress, the universe, whatever, Krishna, Allah, Jesus, ascended masters, angels, whatever feels right to you, you're thanking them for the light. And then after you've removed all that heaviness, you're thanking Pachamama, and you're shutting off that flow of energy to the lower world, to where you're sending your heaviness. And you're just allowing the flow from the upper world now to fill you in, taking your awareness to anywhere that any heavy energy has been removed. Filling in where your chakras were once blocked, and now you're filling it with the light of the heavens, with divine wisdom. And I let it fill into my whole body, out into my arms, into my legs, to my head, and it fills up my whole torso. And I give thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anaiki Kuyaiki. And there you go. There's a little kind of grounding and clearing process, okay? If you work on that kind of stuff, that's going to start to really help moving that. All right. And then I always advise people, if you want to go deep into this, let's do a private session. If you're really ready to go into a big change and a big shift, let's sit down together and do a private session. That's where big change happens. Thank you, Benjamin. Regina says, yes, Jill, I started, but it's like whatever I work on me, someone needs my attention or something happens that pulls me away from me. So I always have to put myself on hold. Well, you just go back. You're not on hold. Don't say that. You can go right back. You're working on yourself. You're creating a limitation in your mind. You can help someone and come back to yourself. You know, if there's people in your reality that depend on you, and we all have that happens. You come back to yourself. There's no hold. You just come back to yourself. Your mind's generating that. Why do you think it needs to be on hold? You have everything you need to sit down and do your breath work every day, to connect to God every day, to pray every day, to allow yourself to learn how to process your energy every day. It's just showing up, sitting down, breathing, and being quiet. That's enough. That's more than anyone needs to really do a lot of help to themselves, right? Because it's not actually work. The work is letting go. That's usually what it is. So you don't have to put anything on hold. And what I would say is there's one thing you can work on with your awareness, breath, and self-talk. I have to put myself on hold. Whenever I work on me, someone needs my attention or something happens that pulls me away. That's what you're saying to yourself in your mind. Nothing's pulling you away. You're choosing to step away. Why are you choosing that? So you have to be really, really honest with yourself, and that may be painful for most of us, because we have to become really, really honest with ourselves. And that is the true depth of healing, being really honest with yourself to what role you play in your own suffering. And when we really are honest with ourselves, we find out that it's all of it. Nothing outside of us can make us suffer. Nothing. Only inside. So you're doing great, Regina. You're doing awesome. You're doing nothing wrong. These are all normal steps. What I would tell you is all your words, the things that are happening, the way you're feeling, yep, your faith is going to be tested. You just keep getting on, okay? It's just like meditation. People tell me, I tried meditating, I can't shut my mind off. I'm like, well, that's the point of meditating. You're learning how to redirect your attention. because you're never going to shut your mind off. You're just not going to give it the same attention you do. And what I like to point out is when you're trying to meditate or you're trying to breathe and you're breathing and your mind starts to run away, starts to think about something and your attention isn't focused on what you're doing. Oh, that's awareness. And you bring yourself back. When you bring yourself back and go feel your breath, and the thinking has subsided for now. Breathing. And then you're going along and then maybe you stop, you slow your breathing down and you're just relaxing and just allowing yourself to feel, and thoughts start to come in. Now you have a choice. All you can do is watch the thoughts. You're just watching them. You're not reacting to them or following them. You can watch them. Or if you want to take yourself away from the thinking, you bring yourself back to your breath. Feel your breath. Every time you feel it, you're feeling the air go in and go down and fill you up. Every time you can bring your attention back from being distracted, that's a win. It's like lifting weights. You're training your nervous system how to come back, how to refocus itself, recenter. Very good, Regina. Yeah, I'd have to agree that powerful healing comes with a lot of pain. I cried last week feeling overwhelmed by all that was happening. I then saw the reasoning for many things. There's lots of stuff. I cried my face off yesterday. I had like a meltdown yesterday, but it was necessary. I was holding on to some unresolved emotion that needed to move. That happens, and crying's a good thing. I encourage everyone to cry. I really encourage men to cry. I know we're taught not to, and, it's not manly for you to cry. I have a different opinion of that now. I think the most powerfully masculine and manly thing you can do is be okay to cry, and to be okay to cry in front of others, to let them see your vulnerability. That's something I don't mind at all. I'm a big bald Viking guy with a big beard. And, I think it's quite encouraging to others around me when they see me cry, and especially to see the shaman cry. Sure, I'm just like you. I am you. There's no separation there. We're all one living thing. And I know it shows up in the reality like I'm a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I'm a rememberer. I'm a seer. I'm our eyes. Different parts of us, different ones of it, like Mary's heart. She's a heart. She's part of the heart and the foundation of life and energy. And we all have different kinds of designs and energy that we bring into the reality. And was able to do some healing with my old journeyman friend back in Tennessee. Hey, that's good. I know what you're talking about. I can feel something there. That's good. There's some sort of fragment still floating in your field that you can integrate. So what it's telling me is Chompi Chikui. And if you don't remember what that is, you can ask me in a private message. I can tell you again. Chompi Chikui. I feel like I do everything you guys have said and still have it. Maybe it just goes super deep and multiple soul fractures. I don't know. I feel like I do everything you guys have said and still, well, these are just things to help you become aware of the energy. If you want to actually heal, my recommendation is get yourself into a healing session. Then we can go deep into your psychology. We can go deep into the choices you're making in your reality, all those things. And then we can start to really open up and find, because healing has many, many layers. The deepest parts of it, we cannot do on our own. We love to say that. He goes like, I'm the healer. You are, but you need direction. We all need direction. I receive healing from others all the time. Be open to receive that. But I feel like I do everything you guys have said and still have it. Right. Well, why aren't you letting go? That's the question. But if you want to know, you're saying, I don't know. If you'd like to know, if you'd like to go deeper into this, I invite you to visit our website. Invite everyone to visit our website. Visit the website. Yes, about health. I'm really working on deep dive into getting healthier this year. Good. That starts at the mind. That starts right there. I am healthy. And then you're asking spirit, your higher mind, what choices could I make to bring greater health into my life? Where do you feel unhealthy? Start going there. I've been on the treadmill for 40 minutes. Good. I love it. Exercise is good. It'll keep you young and spry and moving. Movement is medicine. I even have a body map with corresponding meanings to try and pinpoint my pains as they come. I would let go of that. That's got you. As soon as you started to say it, I could see it's some sort of distraction. Don't try to use a map. The map's never going to tell you anything that your intelligence of your spirit doesn't already know. This is your mind seeking that. So what I would tell you is leave the mind alone and go more into your meditation, deeper into your meditation, and bringing your awareness into the pain. Because don't just pinpoint the pain. Here's the pain. This is what it is. That's all just concept. You want to be able to bring your attention into the pain and let it open, because it's within that signal. The pain is a signal. Within that signal are the answers in which you seek. And that's counterintuitive to the ego mind. What I'm going to tell you, I want you to take your pain and love it. Love it. I love you. Your pain is parts of you that needs loved. Crying to me feels like an amazing release, but I feel you, Mark. Every time I heal, it unclogs the next backlog of stuff to deal with. I'll be curious to see how that experience changes through time. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with it. The flow becomes easier. It happens faster and faster. That uncorking, the flow of new information, and you become less and less resistant, because, like you have a negative per se, you have a heavy view of it. So inspect your language. So language gives away everything. It tells everything about the person. It tells everything about their mindset, tells everything about their energy, and you can feel it in the words. So it said, every time I heal, it unclogs the next backlog of stuff to deal with. Do you see what you turned it into? This backlog of stuff I got to deal with. I'm inundated with work. Oh, so pay attention to the words there, the wording there. And, I'm sure I embellished on what you're, doing, but I want you to pay attention to the feeling in those words. Every time I heal, it unclogs the next backlog of stuff to deal with. What if you as I heal, I open up to my true self? It shows me the things I need to work through. It's a gift. My healing, it opens up my awareness to the parts of me that I do not yet know. See, if you change the language, it changes your perception and energy in the field. So that would be, again, this goes into the awareness, the breath, and the self-talk. So your awareness, you can use the awareness to every time I heal, think of these words. This is what changes your experience. You get better and better at using these three things: the awareness, the breath, the self-talk. I'm aware that I have a somewhat heavy disposition about how my healing's happening or how I'm perceiving it. And then, so you're slowing your breath. I heal with joy and ease. My healing comes with joy and ease. My layers proliferate in a beautiful way. Put in these words, put in better, more beautiful words. This puts you in deeper flow. So that's how the experience changes as you grow, as you become better and fluid at moving through the obstacle, the perceived obstacle, problem, or challenge, and start calling it an opportunity. This is exactly how I began to figure out, because that's what my question was. I noticed that somehow the way that I process things is different than most other people. And that's what I started to ask Spirit. Spirit, what's happening? How am I getting, because I just kind of skate through the challenges of my life. Challenges arise, they come, I deal with them. And I don't like to use the word deal. They arise, I work with what's there, and they go. Everything, and it turns into something beautiful. So, and how am I doing that? With my awareness. I'm becoming aware of what I say to myself. What's my self-talk happening? Aware of self-talk, and what am I agreeing to? What does my current self-talk and agreement look like? And as I look at that, often I'll find that I'm saying something disempowering in my mind. So then instead of feeling guilty about it, because that's the first thing that starts to rise, why are you doing this to yourself? I bring my awareness into my breath and I say, everything's okay. I see what's happening. And then I start to install an empowering version of what I want to be. What is it that I want to be? Beautiful. These are beautiful questions today. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Jill, for your love. I started fasting again the day after Christmas. 18/6. Cool. I love that pattern myself. Going swimming now. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Cool. Go do some laps for me. Regina, that happened to me on and off for 30 years. Community of like-minded people is the key and the teacher. Yeah. Time. So time's kind of an illusory thing, like it could be like how Jill, her perception is, this happened to me on and off for 30 years. Well, that's not true because there's no time. So that's a perception kind of thing. That creates a journey story, which creates value in the mind for certain things. You can also ascend in moments, like the things in everybody's different. And all our collective intelligence is raising. Like Jill 30 years ago, when she was at the beginning of her spiritual journey, there was a lot less spiritual energy on the planet to even deal with, to even have, to be able to access. So now there's just so much more, because not just the frequency of humanity has risen, the frequency of the earth has risen. We're in a totally different place. Community is super important, no doubt about it. I feel like community is A1, and that's why I like to create these things. This gives us a place to have at least an online community, and then we also have our in-town kind of group community. I'll find any excuse to not work on myself. It's called being human. Question is, what do you want for yourself and the world? Right. That's what it comes down to. I don't really have I personally, so for me, in my reality, no excuses arise for me not to work on myself. I just have an awareness that I need to do my self-care, and I do it. And for me, that's why I got rid of the word work, and I call it care, or I call it ritual, or I call it ceremony. It's a gift to myself. For me to be able to sit down and breathe and meditate for 10 minutes, that's the gift to myself. For me to go do a cold plunge, it's a gift. I don't have to do a cold plunge. I get to do this for myself. I get to have this for myself. And then so what you're doing is you're having gratitude, and it takes it from work into enjoyment, understanding that the work you're doing, it should be more like play. Why is it so serious? That's usually what holds people back and keeps them on a 30-year kind of repeating cycle, is it's too serious. Why is it so serious? Slow down, breathe. Let it flow. Thank you, Jilly. You're the bestest. Thank you, brother. I need to make a private session. Please do. I mean, these things are life-changing for people. I mean, I'm working right now. I'm putting together compiling a big kind of list of tutorial or testimonials of people and the experiences they had working with us. They're vast. All forms of different kinds of things happen. A private session it'll just completely rearrange where you're going on your path. Very, very powerful tool. My channel is following right now, is flowing. That's what you're saying. Let that channel flow. You say we are all a part. Your eyes, Maria's heart. What do you see me as? Your heart all day. You're a moon eye. I can feel your heart. You have a earth kind of energy. So it's like Mother Earth kind of energy is what I would say. I can feel that you and her are like the same thing. Like I feel those kinds of, we're different forms of being, and this probably also aligns a lot with people's like human design. There's something called human design. I don't know if you're familiar, Angela. You might want to check that out. And then you can see what kind of design you are. It's very helpful in there. Yeah. So like I'm a seer. So in the human The human design, I'm a projector, a 1-3 personality projector. So I'm a seer projector. Lots of people who are very heart-based seem to be generators and manifesting generators in there, because you need heart to generate. You need energy to create raw fuel for manifestation, and the manifestors and generators and manifesting generators of the world, they're the ones that are able to create from that energy. So that's how we work together. Like people who are projectors, energy alignment and energy, it's kind of like almost like a tower. It's like my energy field stands like a tower, and I bring in energy and I redistribute it to all the beings around me. And then what that does is that allows all the other beings around me to manifest and help me to create a better world. So it all works together. But yeah, so that's what I feel about you. I can feel that you're like a warm hug. That's how that feels to me. I recommend a healing session with Anthony. They're amazingly powerful. Thank you, my friend. A Nike Kuyaki Wulkan in a Penichai. Thank you. I love you, Sacred Soul Sister. Let's see. I think that saying we can't do the deepest layers of healing are in ourselves may also be a mindset of limitations. No, actually, it's a mindset of opening. So that's the confusion. I do not like cannot. I like thinking, why not let me try? Well, who's the me that's saying that? No, actually, I see it's your misinterpretation. It's the ego's mind's interpretation. What do you mean I can't or cannot? What I'm saying is you can't because you're not one thing. So you have to understand that everyone is you. So when you understand that all the energy is you, now you understand that you're not independent, because it's the ego that thinks it's independent from the whole. Well, it isn't. We're interdependent. And so that's why the healing cannot occur in the singular mind, because it believes that it is separate from the other. Okay, so that's why you have that resistance there. I think that saying we can't do deep layers of healing ourselves must be a mindset of limitations. I don't like thinking I cannot. Well, who is that? Who's saying that? This is about energetic coherence. So it's just a misinterpretation. You have to pay attention to really what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is we need to accept interdependence, so that way energetically, that's why community is important. Community of energy, so that way we learn from the other cells. Think of all the other human beings as cells, and we can learn from those cellular interactions. So that's what I mean. So it's good that you brought that up, because now you can see where your mind is. You can begin to change that. Interdependence. Or what could happen if I try? Well, we know what happens if you try. Most of the time, this is where the repeating cycle, where you're at, where you're saying, this is happening. I tried everything, but I don't know. Well, that's the ego that doesn't know. Who's trying to know? Who's trying to figure it out? Not the higher mind. The higher mind knows all things, is with all awareness. It's the ego mind that says, I don't know. So that means that there's something that needs to be kind of worked out to improve the flow of energy between the body and the higher self. I love it. A new perspective. I do not have to put myself on hold. Yes. Correct. No, you don't. That is a choice I have made. You're right, Anthony. My son told me from a different realm that I am strong. Amazing. You are. It's not different. Let me explain that too. Your son is not in a different realm. He's right here with you. Okay. Right here. I mean, right here. The people that we think are dead are by no means dead. They're more alive than we are. That's the truth. And they're right here with us. They're right around all the time. Now, it's not like on TV. They don't float around like ghosts. And, whoa, they have things to do too. They're living in another form of life and reality. You just go from this form of life into the next, and is right there with you. Your son is also, I'm aware that he's with you. He's part of your guidance. You know, he's no longer in a personality form of who he was with human limitations. He's in a spirit form without limitation. And at a deeper level, he is you. You're genetically connected. Everything's on purpose. Nothing's wrong. Everything's on purpose. Even him being out of his body, even though that's painful and that's dreadful to the conditions of the mind and the fear that happens with all that. What if it's just perfect? What if that's what needs to be? Because it is. God doesn't make mistakes. God doesn't make mistakes. And death is an illusion. No one's dead. You just don't stay here. This is the illusion. And then once you know that, you can have fun here, and then you can honor the experience. Otherwise, we dread the experience. We feel like we're a victim here. Honor your awesome experience here as being a human. Love being a human. Feel being a human. Taste being a human. Hear being a human. Experience. Lately, I started to crave my practice like I crave water. Awesome. That goes precisely to what you've been working with me now for a couple years too. And that's something that I'm really big on, practice. Just show up. That's what I tell people. People are like, oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to exercise. Put on your clothes and just go there. All right. Even if you just sat down and you did a hand bike for a few minutes, whatever. What I know is through my own experience, just showing up increases the likelihood that you're going to get it done. There's times where I don't want, I'm just using exercise as a example. I never skip breath work. That never happens. I love breath work. I love doing my energy work. I love going into my mind. I love doing my shadow work. I love that stuff. I get great joy out of doing that kind of stuff. But there, I know that there's people, sometimes motivation is a difficult thing. Discipline outweighs motivation all the time. Be disciplined. And that discipline is showing up to do things that you don't want to do sometimes. Like your breath work. So say it's time to do, I don't feel like it. I had a bad day. I'm tired. Mind starts making up excuses. Show up. Just show up. Just get there. Showing up is the hardest part. Show up. I love it. But yeah, that once you start showing up a bunch of times, it's a craving. That's why I guess I don't miss it, because I crave it. If I'm away from my practice, I feel like I need it. A great conversation today. I'm grateful for everything I learned here. I get triggered a lot less. And when I do, now I am more accepting because I see it as a message and I have the choice to upgrade. It is. That is, your triggers are the messages. I'm a 1-3 reflector. Yay! Moonai. Oh, you're definitely Moonai. You're a Moonai. You're a Moonai Yachai, because you also have a certain level of intelligence that reflects through that. So yeah, I would say at the deepest level, you are a Moonai Yachai. But I feel you're also pretty balanced. I feel like your Yankai, your physical being, is also aware of itself. So I'd say you're pretty balanced, but with a Moonai, a heart-centered energy. Session with Anthony are very powerful and very healing. I had thing coming in with butterfly beings come in sessions. Yeah, we've unlocked some things. I was doing a lot of slow breathing during work yesterday. That's good, because then what I think I've talked about this before. No matter what your job is, you can choose for it to be joyful. You can choose to it, and you can do this by your breath, and you can start making it like a game or like fun. Like you can take your work and you can make it a lot different than it is just by using your mind and your breath. This helps people vastly, because lots of the times we're at work and our minds, I hate this job, I want to leave, speaking all kinds of negative. Become aware of your negative self-talk. That ain't going to help me at all. What can I change? First, in my breath. That awareness comes in. Now you're aware. What am I saying? What am I doing? How can I change that? Okay. It's also, you don't just like always jump right into the shift. You want to become aware of what you're saying to yourself, what you're agreeing to, and then be okay with how you feel about it. And then decide, I want to change, right? Honoring the things that pop up in your life. They're all there. Yes, I'm practicing choosing discipline and self-care over comfort. It's been a few days and I feel a huge shift. Good. Keep going. I'm a generator in human design, but I don't remember the numbers. That's okay. Those just kind of lead you into a personality design. They're quite they're quite wonderful. I like to use it like, it's not like the gospel. You're not reading the book or taking the information as it's gospel and it's concrete. It's suggestion is what it is. And that's why I tell everybody, like, there's different ways you can look at things, like say tarot cards. I like tarot cards. I think they're great. Um, there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it as the tarot card is giving me a suggestion, this psychological suggestion in which to change or move. That's one thing it's doing. Or you can look at it as it's a mystical, if you like the feeling of mysticism and spirit, it's a spiritual message to you. Both are true. The spiritual message to you creates a suggestion in the mind that helps you be able to see something you haven't been looking at, or go beyond something that you haven't been able to go beyond before. Helped me yesterday. Work was crazy and I almost got overwhelmed. Well, I'm glad that you look how big that is, Think about that, Brianna. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome that you are at work and something that used to probably or would have in the past overwhelmed you, you were able to control your state. That's the win. That's where the true healing happens. The real healing doesn't happen on the yoga mat. It doesn't happen during the breath work, during your breath work practice. It doesn't happen while you're idle and you're doing the work or you're in meditation. It happens when you're in the face of adversity and you know what to do. My work was crazy and I almost got overwhelmed. And what happened? You started to slow your breathing down. Good. Slowing your breathing down. And then your awareness probably started to open. You started to say, I'm okay. Everything's all right. I can just go along with this and I can find beauty in it. I try to teach people all the time. Lots of people come to me. I don't like my job. Quit your job. I can't. Okay. Well, if you don't believe you can and you have to be there, then you better make it something you enjoy. Start creating that in your mindset. So now that's happened. I've had people that have been at a job for a period of time. They hated the job. They wanted to quit, but they felt that's the worst thing for a lot of people, when they hate their job, but they feel like they're stuck there and they can't leave because they have my kids and this and that, my house, and all these things. And I teach them how to breathe and start changing their awareness about their job. It's amazing. I've seen people, they're like, oh my gosh, I really love my job. Finding gratitude for your job, that you have a job, you have a purpose, you have something to do. Those things are all really powerful. Now, this doesn't mean you stay at a job that isn't working for you and isn't for you. That's a different kind of thing. I'll ask people, what is it that you want to do? Well, I would love to do this, but I just don't know how. I was like, okay, well, that's the first thing. Don't be patient. Start to inspect your thoughts about these things. Slow your breath down. Awesome. What a beautiful day. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I can't believe we went through an hour and 43 minutes already. Amazing. What a day. What a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to the day. I'm going to go get some exercise in next. I think maybe a quick cold shower. I didn't have my cold shower yet this morning. I always like to get my cold shower in before I train, before I do my strength training. If nobody's doing strength training, let me recommend that real quick. Train your muscles. Strength, train the strength of your body. This also trains your nervous system. It does all kinds of things, improves bone density, flow of fluid in the body and into the musculature. There's lots of science that shows that strength training supersedes and goes beyond pretty much all other forms of physical training, particularly for longevity. If you want to live a long time, keep your body strong. Okay. And, there's different ways you can do this. I also recommend yoga, Pilates, other things where you're doing kind of static movement and stretch. These are very powerful tools for you to stay alive and healthy for a long period of time. Book a session with us at thepositivepineapple.org. If you like what we're doing, go over there, check that out. We have a little list of services. If you like what we're doing here, help support our mission of healing. We need your help. Okay. I have over 6,000 people now on my personal page, and a few other thousand on other things. And across all of our website and all of our platforms, we're connected to upwards of directly connected, upwards of about 80,000 people, which that translates into a lot more of people who we don't actually interact with, but are watching. And what I ask for is I ask for donations. Your donations help us to continue our drive, continue what we're doing here, helping other people discover the beauty and magic of healing, discover the beauty and magic of themselves, their mind, of spirit. But we can't do it alone, and we need your help. It's pretty astounding that there's so many people that show up and watch, and how many people don't donate. But it's also astounding for the people who do donate, because the little bit we do get through donation, that goes a long way to help other people. Okay. I would love it if we could come together as a community, and what we could do is create a crowd-funded kind of source of where we can be here and do bigger things. I would love to create something bigger and do something more. But what that's going to require is that's going to require funding. And together we can do that. So if you can even donate $2, that would be great. If you can donate more, it's the holidays, help out some people. If you can donate, give. Giving is receiving. What I try to help people understand is by giving, you open yourself up to receive. It puts you in the flow of abundance. Okay. So please help us out. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you for your generous donations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's such a big help. It's such a big help for everyone, not just me, not just you, but the collective consciousness altogether. Also share, tell other people about what we're doing. Brianna says, that was the first time I did not get overwhelmed during busy day at work. I'm going rock climbing now. Yay! Good job, Brianna. Look at you. I'm going rock climbing. I have a job. I make soap. I do oracle readings. I take shamanic classes. You're something else, girl. You're something else. I am inspired to follow my highest excitement. I love that. Repeat that to yourself a bunch of times. I'm inspired to follow my highest excitement. Gosh, those are great words. Faith, great words. I'm inspired to follow my highest excitement. I'm inspired to follow my highest excitement. I love that. Good. Words. That's what we want to do, is we want to teach each other empowering words. What's the most empowering things we can say to each other? You're perfect and loving. That's what you are. You're this wonderful, wonderful, amazing miracle of life. Right? You're fantastic. And you're smart. And you're capable. There's just so many things come out through there when I start to think about how amazing we are, how amazing humans are, what you really are beyond the story. Living miracle. And I'm so proud of you, and I love you so much. I'm saying kisses of love to all of you. I love it. I hope everybody has a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend coming up. The new year is going to ring in. I'm excited for that. We'll be doing some new things coming up in the new year. We'll probably do the first live stream after here. We'll probably do a little ceremony here online to bring energy into our new year, to bring some light and life into the new you, the new self. I'm not much about New Year's resolutions. Those things usually fail. If you want to change now, right now. Don't wait. That's what I would say. Don't wait for a magical number. All right. The number, let it represent just a changing of a cycle, the ticking hand of a clock. Okay. You're just allowing yourself to come out of one phase and into the next. Right. Because right now it's already starting to rise. We're past that midpoint of where the longest, darkest day was. And now they're starting to get lighter. We're already heading back into, and I'm so excited for spring. I used to hate winter. It's okay. I like it now. Still not my favorite. I'm working on that. But I absolutely enjoy spring, to watch the green come back to Pachamama and the smell. And then I'm inspired to follow my highest excitement. Breathing that in, Faith, breathing in those words have made me, I feel high. I feel like high on life. I am inspired to follow my highest excitement. That just feels so good. Feels so good. Great job. Great work. I love everybody. I love you all so much. My burgeoning, growing, all of us growing, the pineapple growing, the pineal gland, our awareness growing. And I'm so grateful. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. Have a most blessed day. Much love. Much love to you. I love you all so much. I'll be back on Tuesday. And I send you love and peace and chicken grease.